You know, so many of us have wondered, as you said, Rod, what is it going to look like the next time we go out into the gorge? I mean, you hear 30,000 acres and you wonder how many acres are out there and how much will be burned before this is all said and done. Of extreme concern to the group called Friends of the Columbia River Gorge, who fight to protect this spectacular space in our state. Kevin Gorman from the Friends of the Gorge is joining us this morning. And Kevin, can you give us some perspective on how much of the gorge is affected?
Well, it's hard to say right now. The gorge is about 300,000 acres, and they said 33,000 acres. So you're looking at
Are you talking both sides of the river?
Both sides of the river.
Wow, okay.
And so that's about 10%. And it was good to hear the forest, the spokesperson say that, because there are certain spots that definitely are on fire, but I think the concerns of the gorge is gone, RIP, Eagle Creek, I don't think that's true. It's a resilient place, and you know, fire is part of the landscape. Obviously, the cause is not natural, but this is a pretty remarkable place that's dealt with fire. Remarkable people, remarkable communities, and we'll work through it.
You used the great word there, resilient. So you kind of have faith and you believe in the gorge and its ability to defend itself, so to speak. So, but still, I imagine when you heard this news and as it was unfolding, you must have felt some sense of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to our gorge.
Yeah, you know, everybody has, there's something visceral about the Columbia Gorge. There's something that just speaks to people. Everybody has their Eagle Creek story. Everybody is taken, you know, when their family comes to town and they want to show them the best, that's where they go. So it's just, I've talked to people who are in mourning, evacuees who feel like they have PTSD. So I don't want to discount any of that. It's a pretty traumatic thing. And right now, as Rod said, the weather is changing. You know, we may get some precipitation, so I don't want to assume we're over the hump. We still could have concerns.
Ken, what exactly does your organization do? Am I right when I say you do fundraising and you help protect the beauty that we see?
Well, when people drive into the gorge and they see entering the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area, that was the charge 37 years ago when our organization was started. There was no federal protection, and land use laws in Oregon and Washington were all over the map, and subdivisions were starting to creep from Camas and Troutdale into the gorge. So we were started to call for federal protection, and 6 years later, Ronald Reagan signed the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area Act, and we worked to make sure that act lived up to its potential. So that's what we do. We take people out on hikes, over 100 a year. We own over 1,500 acres of land that we protect. We are advocates, so we are working on issues like coal trains and oil trains. We make sure development, when it is built correctly.
You know, you mentioned the hikes, and I think so many of us, that's what we think of. You know, relatives come from out of state, we take them to the falls. Can you identify any areas, like hiking areas, that is specifically burned at this point?
Well, the message that we have said to everybody so far is stay out and let firefighters, let other people do their work. So I think that includes me, that includes us. And so I think we all, you know, I know people are moving from anger and then they want action. They want to do something right now. Well, everyone needs to take a breath, and we'll see when, literally, when the smoke clears, we'll find out what's there.
But for example, when you see the flames coming up to Multnomah Lodge, you know, you think of the trail going up to the falls, and that area may be impacted.
It may be impacted, but let's remember 1991, there was a fire that went from Angel's Rest to within a couple hundred yards of Multnomah Falls Lodge. And it was a pretty devastating fire, but it recovered, trails recovered, etc.
What are the most common questions you're getting from people right now?
How I can help. You know, that's what people want to do. And you know, what we did is when this really started taking off, we tried to figure out, well, how can we help? We didn't want to go out and fundraise for ourselves, and we thought, you know, the Hood River Search and Rescue, they were the folks who took the lead on getting those 150 hikers out of Eagle Creek. They do so many rescues at Eagle Creek every year, and 99% of their rescues are not residents of their county, yet it's a county-funded thing. So we started raising money. We've raised over $12,000 for them. We're directing people there, directing them to the Red Cross, et cetera.
Well, Kevin, we look forward to hearing more from you in the weeks to come as we find out more about what's happened there in the gorge, exactly, which
and
areas
I
affected.
encourage people to go to our website, gorgefriends.org, because it has the updates of what's going on, where people can plug in.
Thanks for coming in this morning. I
Very
know this is a
positive
crazy
take.
time
Yeah,
for you.
some hope there.
Thank you.
Well,